Hey everyone, this is Chris and Sandy Benton with the Chris and Sandy Show, where we get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I said on every episode, we've got a great one for you. In fact, we've got someone coming back.
Oh, yes, one of our favorite returning guests, Francelle. She is a country music singer-songwriter for Canada's East Coast who has opened concerts for Alan Jackson, Easton Corbin, Maddie and Tay, Midland, the Gatlin Brothers, and many more. Her most recent EP, Can't Hold Me Back, was recorded in Nashville.
And we're excited to kind of talk to her about what's updated with her and see where it goes. Welcome to the show.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
We're excited to have you. Oh, Thursday, we just booked Clay Walker for the show.
Oh my goodness, how cool.
So excited.
I know some of the guys that play for him, so that's really cool.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So since the last time you've been on the show, which was, how long ago was it?
Oh, was it last year?
Sometime last year.
Yeah.
Give us an update. What's going on?
Well, I'm still writing on that EP, and I've got a new single that just came out today.
Oh, wow. What is it?
Tell us about it.
It's called Drink O'Clock.
Oh, Drink O'Clock. Love it. The title. Wow.
Yeah.
And tell us about the song.
I wrote that song with Matt Legier. And it's like, I'm hoping for it to be the next party girl anthem, you know? It's one of those songs that you just can't help but dance to and sing along to and drink o'clock, you know. It's one of those party anthems. So I hope it does well.
Oh, awesome.
So the past couple of years have been rough for a lot of people, but especially entertainment. How has it affected you, and what have you done the past few years to get through this? And thank God we're kind of on the other side now, so we can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, in some ways, it was actually good for me because I spent a lot of time like making videos, like just doing videos of me singing with Luther sometimes, and Country Rebel was sharing all those videos, and it just made the fan base really grow. I recorded over 100 videos during the pandemic, like of songs.
Wow.
And so that really helped, like the whole, you know, social media thing grow for me. It helped a lot. And I guess to get through it, I mean, I was off for what I do. I mean, I play a lot of shows in Nashville, and we weren't shut down for that long. I mean, we were shut down for maybe 3 months completely, but we never shut down for like a year and a half or anything like that. So we did struggle a little bit, but we were able to get through because we were able to get back to work, you know, quickly enough, I guess. I just kept thinking, I did record the EP while we were on during the pandemic, and did all the, like, you know, all the logistics and all the stuff that comes with it. And then I was shooting videos. So I kind of just kept busy focusing on the career at the same time. So I didn't mind it too much.
Yeah, that's like for us, you know, as you know, we launched the show January of 2020. So a couple months before everything got shut down. And I remember original plan was maybe 100 interviews that first year. And because of everything being shut down, we ended up doing over 300 interviews that first year. We're almost 600 now.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a lot of interviews.
And we would be probably close to 700 this year right now. But we had my dad passed away, her mom passed away in a 3-month span earlier this year. So
it's a tough year in that.
So it's regard, been you know, it's crazy. It's one of them roller coaster years, because it's like on that sense, it's been a really tough year. But then on other senses of our other parts of our life, it's been like some of the best year we had. Yeah. And so it's like then you want to celebrate, but then you feel guilty for celebrating sometimes because you're supposed to be mourning. But then we have to look at, okay, what would our parents want?
Right.
They'd want you to be happy. They'd want you to succeed.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm so sorry to hear that about both your parents. I mean, that's one of the hardest things, I think, for sure.
Yeah, and that what's bad about it, like for our kids, is they were the last living grandparents, because my mom passed away right after we married back in 2002, but she passed away a year after. And then her dad passed away in 2014. So we had just them two, and then my dad passes away this year on March 1st, and then her mom May 27th.
Yes.
Wow.
And
That
so
was
it's
a
been
lot for you guys. Oh, dang.
so it's been a whirlwind year. But like I said,
Yes.
it's not been all depressing, thank God. It'd be really tough to go through that and nothing else good was happening.
Yeah, that's when you got to focus on something else, right? And try to grow something else so you don't get lost in the lost in the mix of that. That's
So as you know, a lot of people, they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles it takes to get to any level within entertainment. And I always like to talk about it because, as you know, people think if you got the voice, you got it made, but that's just not the truth. It takes a lot of work, a lot of rejection, and then you still might not make it. So tell us a little bit about the sacrifices you've made to even get to where you are today.
Well, I mean, the sacrifices I've made. I lived in a trailer park in LA. Actually, not even a trailer park. It was somebody's backyard that was turned into a trailer park.
Wow.
With like 5 trailers. Had like,
oh wow,
kind of people of every world, like an ex-con. I had like an ex-homeless that she picked up, and so like it was like we had to adapt and become friends with these people because we didn't even have a lock on our door. And we had all these instruments and all this crazy stuff. So I mean, back in LA, it was crazy. We went through tough times. I couldn't even, like, I'd go to the dollar store to get my groceries, and I wanted to buy a spatula because we needed one, a dollar spatula. And I was like looking at our finances, and I was like, I don't know if we can afford it this month. And I can't believe I actually said that, but I said that. Because it was true.
Wow.
And we understand that because although this year has been a good year for us, it's not always been. The past couple has been good, but we've been there where we're like, I hope the credit card goes through. And there's been times where she'd come to me and say, that our checking account is in the negative right now, right?
Yeah, we've been there. Yeah.
And then you got to go get groceries on a credit card, and you're like, uh-oh, like, am I going to be able to pay this? I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, and then it's hard work. It's like 24/7 kind of work, You have to be pretty much a workaholic if you want to be in this type of business, right? I mean, but any self-employed person, that's kind of what they
understands that.
Yeah, they understand that. They work all the time. And that's the kind of family that I grew up in. Everybody was self-employed, and everybody was passionate about their work. It's completely different from my work, but everybody was super passionate and loved their work and would work all the time. And it was part of like how I grew up. People, they had all these successes, and the family would celebrate, everybody's successes and type thing. And so that's just how I see life. I'm like, and then my grandpa said, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
It's like, it's true. But at the same time, it is tiring, and you are going to lose sleep over it. And, you are going to have a really tough time go. But I mean, now things are really good. Ever since we moved to Nashville, things have been looking up pretty dang good. I'm super happy here. And there's just so many opportunities. It is the land of country music, the music city, country music city, so there's just always wonderful people to meet and always opportunities kind of popping up everywhere. So especially now too, that the pandemic's kind of trickling out. So many.
Well, even Biden the other day, or yesterday or today, he said he was asked about the pandemic. He said it's over. I couldn't believe it. I said, okay, now I guess it's official.
Good to hear that.
Good. Yes.
Yeah, but it's definitely been a crazy time, but it's one thing I think that's helped too in this time. It's given people a time. There are a lot of people before the pandemic that wanted to be a country star, or they wanted to be a music star, or they wanted to be an actor or actress. The pandemic actually gave them time to think about, is it really what they want? Because
Yeah.
it's such a difficult journey being in a creative place when you got thousands of people that are all trying to do the same thing. And so I think that that's one thing that did come from the pandemic too. Because I've watched a lot of people on Facebook that talked about, we've come to a decision. We're moving from Nashville and going back to school and all that.
Oh.
And I've seen a lot of that. So I think that I guess it made the cream rise to the top, so to speak.
Right.
Because it's a tough industry. And with, again, when the pandemic first happened, nobody really knew what it would look like a year, 2 years later. Nobody knew if it would go back.
That was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing. It's like you want to do all these projects and stuff, but you're like, well, if I go out and buy all this stuff that I'm going to need to launch these projects, am I going to be able to pay this back, or am I just digging myself up in a hole? You just didn't know, like you said, if you were going to be able to get back to work or not. So it was a really I don't know, it was an interesting time. I feel like if I would have known we would have gotten back to work that fast, I feel like I could have done a lot more that cost money,
Sure.
but then I didn't want to spend any money because I
you didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like we had several people that's come on our show that said 2020 was actually supposed to be their breakout year.
Yeah, they had big tours.
That was their biggest year planned ever, and then all that happened, and so they had like they said, they had to regroup, and it was like, although they enjoyed the time, they were also scared. Okay, is it coming back?
Mm-hmm.
And here we are.
I saw a lot of people be scared. Yeah, I mean, everybody that was in that touring world, they all lost their job and they didn't know when it was going to come back. Like bigger shows like that, all that stuff was canceled.
Yeah.
Thankfully for us, we had the bars in Nashville that were, still kind of going here and there. So
yes.
But for all the big tours, all the big shows, if that was your main income, then oh my gosh, it was a tough time for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were a member of the band or whatever, people helping with the band, because of course it takes a village to do all the setup and all that. You didn't know if you had a job either. I mean, if you were, a lot of the big ones, of course, still paid the salaries. But if you were a mid-sized band, there ain't no way they could pay your salaries.
Oh yeah.
So then you had all that.
Some of them don't. Well, because they didn't know what was going to happen either. They didn't know they were going to get back on the road in a year from now. So it was tough for them too. And it's
So speaking of toughness, let's flip the script and go the other way. What are some wow moments that's happened to you? Just name 2 or 3 things that you were like, wow, I can't believe that happened.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing for me was opening for Alan Jackson. Those 2 shows that we got to do with him. I mean, that was incredible.
And you're always playing his bar.
I know, and I love it. I'm so proud of it because I got to meet him. I got to go on the road with him, and he was just such a sweet guy, and exactly who you see him as on stage is the same personality he's got off stage. So it was a beautiful. Such a beautiful experience.
Does that make playing his bar a little different that does that make playing his bar a little different that you met him and all that? And now when you're in that bar, it's like,
well, because you feel more like part of the family, you know everybody. And then every now and then you get Alan's, actually like yesterday, his piano player was at our show yesterday at AJ's.
Wow.
So you just never know, and the bass player, sometimes he plays at AJ's every now and then, just for fun because he likes it. And it's just, it's cool. You feel part of the family. And I'm so proud to, represent him. And because I love him and I love his bar. I love his family, everything about it. So it's fun. Yeah, I do love that place so much.
I always tell people, and I don't care if you visit Nashville, for any length of time. I don't care if you don't like crowds. You need to go down to Broadway on a Friday or Saturday night after 9 p.m. because that's when they close the road. And again, if you go on Thursday night, you're going to be squunched with the people, so you're probably going to really, really hate it. But if you go after 9, you really get to experience Broadway in a whole unique way, where you can walk down the middle of the road and you just hear music from every angle.
Oh, we
It's
love
true.
that about it.
And it's just an amazing thing. Oh, and the last time we were there, little Chris got pulled up on stage again.
Again, yeah.
Ah, how
Second
cool.
time on Broadway.
Because
Yeah.
remember we told you before about it the first time he got pulled up in 2020 last year.
Yeah, 21. Yeah, but
And-
last year.
And he was so excited. So ever since that, when we'd go to Nashville, if we're walking down Broadway, and every time we stop and listen to a little bit of music, he would hold his drumsticks up, trying to recreate that, and it finally happened.
Yeah, he got to drum on stage
Yeah.
again. So, yeah.
So
That's so
it was,
And
cool.
Caitlin even
and
got pulled
it
on
was funny is
stage
because they pulled
that
him
time,
up,
too.
and then I got up there because I'm going to film this, you know? You know, so I jumped through the window too. And then Caitlin's trying to climb up, and
Yeah, through the
the
window.
singer looks back and realizes, a boy's on the band on the drums, and he looks down, and he was pointing at Caitlin, and I thought he was talking about letting me know that she's trying to get up, and he's like, no, bring her. He's like, get her up here. So I pulled her up, and so he's holding her in one hand,
holding her up and singing,
and her brother's on
all
the
the
drums
time,
playing the drums.
Yeah.
Oh, how cute. I love that. So precious.
Yeah, and again, that's
moments we'll
Nashville,
never forget.
and
That's
he'll
Nashville.
never, whether he ever plays drums or not, he wants to play, so we will see. But whether he ever plays drums or not, he'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Of course he will. That's the beauty of Nashville. You get these memorable moments, and it's a beautiful place.
It is. It truly is.
So tell us a little bit about the team behind you from your band.
Well, I've got like a huge pool of musicians that I play with, because you have all these shows, all these musicians. A lot of them, they go out on the road. Some of them play with big artists, so they're not always available. It's like, so you have them some days, then the next day you have the other one, and then so that's kind of the beauty of Nashville, is everybody has handfuls of musicians that can do the job, that know your stuff, and that will do a really good show with you. So yeah, that's kind of how it goes. I just have a whole lot of people, but the one that's always there, of course, is Matt Legier on the bass. He plays bass, and because we're together, of course. So he plays guitar with me too. So.
And that's always good to have that person that could be right with you.
Of course. That's yeah. To go through a lot of these crazy times, the tough times. It's good to have a person to share it with, because wow, sometimes it gets messy, right? So
yeah, because even doing what we're doing,
somebody to celebrate with, all the good moments.
Yeah.
Good to have somebody right there along with you. So
because even doing what we're doing, I'll be honest, I can't imagine having my spouse not with me, because I know you have a lot of people that are in entertainment, and they are the person, and their spouse is kind of in the background, but I can't imagine not having that with me. That's part of the whole thing.
Yeah. I agree. To me, it's weird. We've always worked together. I mean, for years, we've always done the same thing. And some people are like, well, how do you do it? You guys are together all the time. Like, how do you do it?
Mm-hmm.
And, it gets tough sometimes, of course. Like everybody, you have, times that don't go so well. But I do think it's so much better to have that person there with you to go through all these moments. So.
Yeah, because we've had it for almost 20 years of marriage now.
Wow.
The whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And just like, we homeschool little Chris, and then we
he
kind
of gets to
so he gets experience
everything too,
of 24/7 family, not just 24/7
yeah.
us. And then we got Caitlin, and I'll be honest, sometimes we need that break, but we don't from them, but we don't really get. Because it's with the homeschool and all that. But we deal with it, because sometimes we're like, okay, where's our time?
Yeah, where's our break?
Everybody needs their time, It's important for sure.
Mhm.
You're gonna need
We're
a
hoping-
vacation at some point.
we're hoping to
Yeah.
have a babysitter October 5th, our actual anniversary in
We
Nashville,
are gonna
so that we can maybe enjoy that
yeah.
night for at least a few
Oh
hours.
yeah,
Yeah, parent night out type thing. Yeah,
We're gonna try anyway.
I'll try. We'll see.
right.
Yeah.
For
But
sure.
a lot of people, they take vacations without their kids. I don't know if I could. I'm so used to having them with me where we would be miserable because the whole trip we would be like, little Chris would love that, or Caitlin would love
Yeah.
that.
We
Then you
would.
miss them, right? You leave them for a
We
day, and then
would
you're like,
miss 'em.
oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of little Chris, as you know, we bring him on to ask a few questions. So Sandy's going to go get him real
I'll
quick,
get it.
and I'm sure it's the same 3 questions as last time, but you may have different answers this time.
Yeah.
So while we're waiting on him, what's kind of next for you?
Well, I'm leaving for Vegas tomorrow. We're gonna go play 2
Wow.
shows in Vegas at Gillies. So that's gonna be fun. I used to play Gillies a long time ago with another band, but this is the first time with my band, so I'm super excited. But yeah, so yeah, Vegas, and then a couple weeks ago, I actually got to sing. Do you know Trick Pony?
Yeah.
Well, do you know? So Keith Burns is in the Trick Pony.
Yeah.
Well, I got to sing "Poor Me," the Trick Pony song, with Keith Burns a couple weeks ago on stage, and we got to open for him, me and Luther, and then he invited me up to sing "Poor Me" with him, and it was so cool. Like I loved it. So that was an exciting moment this month. I loved it. Yeah.
Wow.
Hi, Francelle. So what's your food?
Hi, Chris. My favorite food. Okay, definitely Thai food.
Because what's yours?
Mine's pizza.
You ever had Have you ever had Thai food?
Yeah.
I don't think he
But
has.
you like spicy food.
So he likes spicy though.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well,
Gotta try it.
Now sometimes he's like, "Oh, this ain't hot. This ain't hot," and then like a minute, like, okay, this is hot now.
you gotta try Thai hot then. That's for sure.
All right, so what's your TV show?
My favorite TV show. Okay, I have to say right now it's Cobra Kai.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Mine's SpongeBob.
SpongeBob, cool. Actually, I've never seen like the full season. I think it's because I didn't grow up with it as much, but I haven't like watched the whole thing. Maybe I should watch it. You think I should, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's your movie?
Favorite movie. I guess since I'm like a little girl, I love like Selena since I've,
Oh,
yeah.
It's a real good one.
Yeah.
Okay, my favorite movie is Minions.
Minions. I love that one.
Yes.
And last time we was in Nashville, we seen the new one at the theater in Nashville.
Oh, nice. That's so cool.
And it's the first time him and Caitlin ever been to a movie theater because it was almost time for us to go. And then, of course, everything gets shut down. And then, then as Caitlin gets older, we're like, don't know if she could handle sitting there for 2 hours yet. And then we finally got to the point where we felt like, okay, I think she can handle it since it's the Minions.
Right. Since she's going to be like,
if it had been a regular movie, she wouldn't have made it. But, Minions, yeah, she made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bye, thanks.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, he's been on almost every episode. So it's really cool to be able to intertwine the family into our show.
Of course.
And one day, Caitlin will be part of it.
Good. How old is Caitlin now?
She's 3.5.
3.5.
Okay. I hear her crying because she was asleep, but I guess Sandy's got to go have to handle her.
Yeah.
So if you could co-write with any artist, who would it be?
Co-write.
And it don't have to be a songwriter. It could be just an artist that, even if they're not known for writing, just any artist.
Dolly.
That'd be a good one.
Dolly's my answer for everything. I want to sing with Dolly. I want to hang out with Dolly. I want to write with Dolly. I want to be with Dolly.
So if you could bring back any country artist who's passed on and spend one day with you, who would it be?
Artist who's passed on. It's a good question. I'm really like going through all of these in my head right now. I'm like, which one is it?
Because it's a tough one. There's so many great ones.
There is so many great ones, and I feel like I'd want to, hang out with different ones for different reasons. Yeah, like I'd love to, talk to Patsy Cline, to be able to perform like she does, like with so much heart and passion and just so natural, so classic. So, and then I'd love to talk to June, who's just so fun and vibrant and exciting,
And how she kept Johnny on his toes. Because again, one thing that we really love about their story is, I went through 19 years of addictions, and the first 5 years of our marriage was really hectic for Sandy. So we had to go through that. And I've been sober now over 14 years. But when we hear their story, it's like really intriguing because it almost matches ours too.
Yeah, they stuck together, right? Stuck together till the end.
Till the end.
Yeah.
So what's a song you've heard that you wish you wrote?
I mean, there's so many of those. But there are so many of those. I can't even pick one, but I got to tell you one that comes to my mind. Every time I sing it, for some reason, sometimes I start crying. Is House That Built Me, Miranda.
That's a good
one.
Because
it's not that I wish I had written it. I feel like I wrote it. The words are just, I picture my life in that song when I sing it. It just comes naturally. It's like I sing it and I see the house that I grew up in. I see, my bedroom upstairs. I see the guitar that I was playing. I see the front yard. And it's, they say it's her dad that built the house and everything. And my dad builds houses. That's what he does. And he built my childhood home. And so it's, that's why every time I sing it, I'm like, ah.
The song that kind of gets me is the Cody Johnson "Until You Can't."
Oh, that's a good one.
And because again, you don't know how, especially this year, it means even more because of, as you know, with our parents going and of course, many times we'll jump in the car and turn on the radio, and if it's playing his song, it's almost always at the one part about calling your mom.
Yeah.
And because she talked to her mom almost every night before she passed away.
Yeah, for the past 20 years since I moved away.
So it's just moments like that to where that's what the power of a song.
Power of music.
Power of music. And I know a lot of people think music is just trash, but it really isn't. I mean, it's, music is great for the person that it moves.
Oh yeah.
Every song's not going to move every person. One song may move me and not move her. So,
of course,
vice versa. Yeah.
But one of the first times I listened to "Till You Can't," I had a buddy that wanted to sing it at one of the shows. He's like, "Hey, can you learn this song?" And I was like, "Yeah, no problem." So I was just like listening to it, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I did get a little teary-eyed. I was like, wow, we just got to do things. We just got to go for it and do it right away.
Live while we can. Yeah.
And he really is speaking to musicians on that song.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's speaking to everybody, but especially musicians, because again, a lot of times in the creative world, you can get bogged down. Well, I can't. Well, the day's going to come when you really can't.
Yeah. Yeah. So stop saying you can't and just do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what's some of your goals for the next 5 years?
Well, I just wrote this song called Vision Board Song, and it's pretty much like my vision boards right there on because I'm in my office here, and I've got all like my hopes and dreams. And one day I was just sitting at my desk right there, and I was like, what am I going to write about? I was like by myself, and I'm like, okay, I need to write a song. And then I looked up at the wall, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is a song right here.
So right in front of you.
So the chorus is, I want to go on the road in a big tour bus and play for big crowds, enjoying life's a must. I want to sign with a label and write my own songs. $1 million in the bank that won't disappear into a cloud of dust. I want a worldwide hit where everyone can sing along to it. I want to sing this song at the Grand Ole Opry. And I want to sing with Stapleton. And yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty, it's a lot of, it's not everything that's on the board, but it's
I haven't created a vision board yet, but on the wall in the office, I've got a little sign that says Emmy winning Chris and Sandy show.
Oh, you have to print out everything you want and put it right there. Cause it's so crazy. Like maybe every 6 months I'll look at the board and I'll be like, oh wait, I did that. And then I take it off and I put it in a neat little box, like success. And then I look up, wait, I did that. And then I take it off and then I put it here. And then you replace those with like the new goals.
New ones.
Mm-hmm.
So it's amazing. I really think it really works because I've already completed, multiple things up on that board. So, and a lot of them are like, big things, and you're thinking, oh, it's impossible, but you really got to believe that
nothing's impossible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's look 15 years down the road, and let's say that all the dreams you got up there come true. You've made it, and whatever it looks like for you, you are there. What do you hope that you never forget along that journey to get there?
That spending time with the family is extremely important, and you got to actually block off time for that, because the business can get so busy. And it's always, a lot of times it's the priority. Oh, well, this person's going to be there. Or this is going to happen, or you can't miss it. So you actually have to like say, no, this is going to be family time. And then, I really want to, it's like, I don't know. I want a family, and I love my family. I love spending time with family. That was the hardest thing through the pandemic, was not seeing my family, because my family's in Canada. And
so
usually
there was no possibility there.
Yeah, I would see them a lot more. But now I'm starting to see them. I got to go home this summer, and now they're coming up. My parents are coming to Vegas to see the show, so I'm really excited to see my parents again. So yeah, now I'm gonna be able to like see more of my family, which is, I needed it. So yeah.
Yeah, always a good thing. What are some things that inspire you?
I mean, of course, other artists. It's all about other musicians, other singers, songs. I love seeing people succeed. When you see like your friends that do the same shows as you, or that play in the same circuit, and then you look at them and they just got a record deal or something, you're thinking like, wow, like they were in the same spot that I was. If they can do it, I can do it, So I just think it's really inspiring, and it's really exciting. That's what I love about Nashville, because all your friends are musicians, all your friends are singers, and it's just so beautiful to be able to support everybody and just be proud of, everybody's moments, because you just never know. Sometimes it happens like that,
Yeah.
and it's just,
Yeah.
it's
And what would you
think
like for your legacy to be in music? What would you like to be most known and remembered for?
I would say my whole purpose of doing music and living life is to be happy and to spread joy and to heal people.
Mhm.
But I would say I want to be happy and make other people happy. And I'm hoping that the music that I can do can make people feel good, can make people come to some type of realization, just inspire them in some way to be better, because I think everybody can always be better. And every time you're one step, further out, it's just, it's a beautiful, it's beautiful that we can all grow. And every time we grow a little bit more, it's exciting. Every step of the way, I think, is an adventure and is very inspiring. And I'm grateful for this entire journey. And I do want people to feel that excitement and that joy when I'm on stage, and I'm happy being there. I'm hoping that the people watching feel that same vibe. I'm hoping that it reaches them, and they're happy too, and they're feeling. I hope it makes them feel something good, for the better.
Yeah.
So.
Love that.
Awesome. And if you could say anything to your fans and followers, what would you want to tell them?
I love you, and thank you so much for following me through this whole crazy journey. Because I mean, I don't know, it's crazy, it's fun, it's exciting, and I'm just so grateful that they're all there. They're all there to grow with me. So thank you.
Definitely love that. So, as we close out here, what advice would you give that person that's watching that wants to do what you do?
Never give up. Never give up. I I think that's the most important thing. If you really want it, if you're really passionate about it, don't give up. And also be you, because there's nobody out there that's going to be better at being you than you.
True.
Yeah, I love that. And speaking of never giving up, we're actually writing a book on our little bit of our story. It's going to be called "Don't Quit, Pivot," because I think a lot of people.
Oh, hey, okay.
Because a lot of people, they preach don't quit, but they put people in that position to where what they're doing is not working.
Right.
So they the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. So all of a sudden you get these gurus and all that saying don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. So then they're 5 years in, 10 years in,
and they're doing the same thing over and
they're
over
doing
again.
the same thing.
Exactly.
And sometimes it might be, it could be a big pivot, could be a little pivot, but again, I think if people would just take everything in and say, like even with our whole YouTube channel, we pivoted a little bit where instead of doing just interviews, we're doing little YouTube shorts now. And that's been a game changer for the whole channel.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
And but it wasn't such a big pivot where we're not doing interviews because we're here,
right.
But that little pivot made a big difference. And I think if a lot of people would understand that yes, don't quit, but sometimes it might be smart to pivot too.
Oh, for sure. For sure. You got to try these different things. And a lot of times I feel when you have something like, let's say that works, right? Or you're used to it, you do it every day. It becomes a habit, right? You're doing it every day. Sometimes it's hard to put yourself in a vulnerable position where you try something new because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what they're going to say. You don't know if it's going to work. You know that what you're already doing is working. So some people are like, well, why change? Well, then you'll just keep doing the same thing that you're doing. So sometimes it is kind of scary because it's unknown territory. But I think that's great advice. You got to try these new things, even though you feel like it's a little bit harder to do because it's unknown. You're just putting yourself out there. But a lot of times you think it's scary before you do it, and then you do
And
it,
then
and
you
you're
do
like,
it and you realize it's not.
that was kind of fun, and then it's easy to do again because now you've done it, right? So the first time is always it can be scary, but you just got to do it. You got to dive in, right?
Like a new thing that we're going to be, a new segment of our show we're going to be doing. It's a little scary because we haven't done this yet. And we're still waiting. So as soon as we get some people send us their stories in, we will start this. But it's going to be scary, that first one. But we're going to be doing a segment called Entertainment Horror Stories. And what I want this to be is where if people within entertainment world, it could be artists, could be actors, it could even be people on the business side of it, but just people in entertainment stories who has that one horror story that just almost destroyed them, where they can write in, tell us the story, and of course change names in it. We don't want to get in trouble and all that, cause that kind of controversy. But where we can, and what we'll do is we'll read the story and react to it. And that way their story gets out there a little bit, and it'll be like red flags for other people. Oh, I'm going through that right now.
Right.
I think it could be and where I learned that from, there's a lot of these anti-MLM YouTubers, and I'm not anti-MLM, and I'm kind of not pro. I'm kind of in neutral when it comes to MLM. But I do listen to some of them. They have some great points, but there was several people that did what they call MLM horror stories, and they would do that. They would read these stories and react to it, and I'm like, that would work in entertainment. And that's where the idea came from. And I did some research, and I ain't found nobody doing it. I'm like, well, we're going to be the ones that bring it.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great.
And like I said, it's scary because we're used to having a guest there. So if we don't have nothing to say, the guest does.
It's like a safety blanket.
And our show is our like you said, our show is our safety blanket. We don't have to edit. We don't do any of that. Where with this, we're going to have to read it, react, record, edit, all that. So we're going to do the whole thing. But again, we want the whole show as a brand to go to the next level because we want brand deals and all that next year. So we're like, okay, what can we add that doesn't take away from the interviews, but still is within entertainment?
Right.
And we thought, that was like a perfect foundation where, this would work, and it would still work right with being an entertainment industry channel.
Oh, for sure. And if you can be the first at doing anything, that's the best way to start. Because a lot of times you're never the first, there's always somebody who did it before you. But to be the first is a real big advantage. And I think you should definitely follow that for sure. Follow through with it.
But just be sure if you got any of those type of small stories, email us.
Or know anyone.
Let them know. Again, we're looking for the story that where you're like, wow, I can't believe they made it through that. Because again, it's going to be called entertainment horror stories, not entertainment. Well, I didn't like it stories.
Yeah.
Because we want the ones where people would be like almost shocked at, when they're listening. That shock value, because again, that we are YouTubers, and that's kind of
well, I'm sure there's a lot of those,
especially in entertainment.
Probably so.
Every industry has them, but I think
in the entertainment business, yes.
Every industry has it, but I think I think entertainment probably has it more than anybody.
Oh yeah.
So as we close out, tell everybody how they can find you.
Francelle Music is how you can find me everywhere. Spotify, go check out my new single, Francelle. It's Drink O'Clock. If you can afford it, if you can spare it, go on iTunes. You can buy it for 99 cents. Francelle, Drink O'Clock. And it's Francelle Music on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. It's all Francelle Music. So it should be pretty easy to find me. And FrancelleMusic.com is my website. So
Awesome.
If you want to get an EP, if you want your own signed CD, you can go to francellemusic.com and get one there.
Definitely love that. And we really enjoyed having you on the show
We
for a
did.
third time.
Yes.
And we definitely look forward to having you back a fourth time.
Well, I had a blast today. Thank you so much, Chris and Sandy, for having me. It's always a pleasure talking to you guys. You're so kind and it's just so easy, you know? So it flows very easily.
And that's what we love.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks so much for your time again.